Halacha Yomi, we're up to page 307. The laws of exercising on Shabbos, on Shabbat. 40. Strictly speaking, it is permitted to do exercises such as crunches, sit-ups, push-ups, or the like on Shabbat if you do it for pleasure. And you're not doing it to break a sweat. Okay. However, one should preferably refrain from doing so for pleasure, since it's not in the spirit of Shabbat. What in the world is the spirit of Shabbat? So you have to know, there's a famous Ramban. The Ramban says, why in the Torah do we see that Shabbat is also called Shabbaton? What does Shabbaton mean? It's not a Shabbaton, you go with your school away, It's a Shabbaton means a special type of rest. Shabbat means resting, but Shabbaton means a deeper type of rest. Says the Ramban, there's a way to do business on Shabbat also. You'll make everybody not pay any money. They'll take everything on memo. There'll be an eruv. They won't carry halachically, and you won't write anything down. And technically, you can have a store open and running on Shabbat. And the only problem is you can't do business on Shabbat because you might lead to writing. So if nobody pays you money and everybody agrees to have everything on memo, so what's the problem? Why can't I have a business running on Shabbat? Oh, there's a legal loophole not to transgress any melacha. Says the Ramban, because the word Shabbaton in the Torah teaches us, you got to do things on Shabbat, even if it's permitted. Some things are still not permitted because it's not in the spirit of Shabbat. He's going to take away from the whole idea of meaning of Shabbat. What is Shabbat for? Shabbat is a day to disconnect from physicality, to reconnect to spirituality. So being busy with making money in business, or being busy in the pool all day, or being busy playing basketball all day, so then, turn on TV from before Shabbat and watch Messi and Ronaldo and LeBron James on Shabbat. So you didn't break any melacha, but you didn't do anything in the spirit. Where's the spirit of Shabbat? That's not Shabbat's for. So therefore, it's exercising also. The person has to make sure that he doesn't do it because it's not in the spirit of Shabbat. Even according to lenient opinion, who says if you do it for pleasure, it's okay. They don't permit to lift weights on Shabbat or exercise in a way that one is trying to break a sweat. Likewise, let's say you have people who love running or jogging. Running or jogging is permitted only if you derive pleasure from it, and you're not doing it in order to break a sweat. Some people, they say, I have to burn some calories, I have to break a sweat, it's for health, I have to keep myself fit. That is not to be done on the Shabbat. If you do it because it clears your mind, when you jog, I have a peace of mind. Okay, so technically you have what to rely on to do it. 41. One may not perform vigorous therapeutic exercises or massages in order to induce a sweat. Let's say you have a tough uncle. He knows how to, massage you very well. You'll break a sweat. So he says there'll be a sur. However, if you'll not induce sweat, such as massaging one's legs or aching back, it is permitted. Similarly, physical therapy exercises that are not intended to produce a sweat are permitted. Sounds like stretching, right? Stretching, you're not doing it to break a sweat. Even though from stretching you could break a sweat, but you're not doing it for that reason, technically it'll be mutar. 42, breathing exercises may be performed on Shabbat. 43, a lot of people, what they like to do is, after they eat a big meal, they like to go gulayish. They like to go walking around, right? And hopefully see some friends, schmooze in the street, right? Now you should know, I see a lot of people in the summer especially, after they eat a big meal, they want to go walking, so sometimes they take a nap first and then they go walking. And it happens a lot during the time of class before Minha. Before Minha is a class, shiur, and you're supposed to come to learn Torah. And I asked the guy, where are you? Why did you come to shiur? Oh, I have to take out the kids, walk with the kaleska, walk with my wife, take these kids to the park, go to Babulia's house, this, that. I said, Shabbat comes out so late. Why didn't you do this before? Why'd you miss Minha, class before Minha? You have to learn more Torah on Shabbat. No, I went to sleep, we didn't have time, this, that. So from 5 to 6 till Minha, I was walking around. So it's not right. They should go shiur Torah before Minha. You should go walking around before this time. Schedule your Shabbat properly. And also another thing is, a lot of people when they walk around on Shabbat, they say it's hot. So what do? They change their Shabbat clothes, they put a t-shirt, shorts, sandals. Okay, is it tzanua, not tzanua, is one discussion. But it's not in the honor of Shabbat to walk around on Shabbat like this. This is how you dress when you go to the pool on Sunday. Why are you walking around like this on Shabbat outside? and then one guy sees his friend, another guy sees the other friend do it, and then everybody starts doing it. So then the Shabbat doesn't look like Shabbat anymore. So that's another disclaimer one should make. After eating, 43, after eating, one may take a stroll outside, even if one's intentions are for health reasons, like to help digestion. 44, a lot of people, they don't eat everything that that's served on Shabbat. They say, I'm on a diet. It is permitted to diet on Shabbat. However, one should not forego on eating bread during the Shabbat meals for the sake of a diet, unless there's a serious health concern. I spoke to somebody the other day. I said, yeah, you have to eat the bread on Shabbat. Oh, I don't do that. I eat osvo, I eat this, I eat that, I eat fish, I don't eat bread at all. I said, why? I don't like it. It's not good for my diet. I said, what do you mean? Your physical diet, you're right, but your spiritual diet, you're suffering. You need to have a meal on Shabbat. What is this? No, I can't. I said, Chai, get sourdough, eat exactly the measurement, Why do you have to cut a whole turkey? It's a mitzvah. You have to do the mitzvah. So therefore, a person has to know, shomer mitzvah, lo yada davara. I won't know anything bad that's coming from a mitzvah. Okay, 45. A person who has a pimple that's causing him pain, he's allowed to pop it on Shabbat, either with a needle or with his nail. Why? Because there's pus in there, and it's bothering him, and it's causing him pain, so he wants to drain the pus. That's mutar, right? However, this is even permitted, even if a little blood will come out. That's not his intention. His intention is not to draw out blood. His intention is not to cause an opening in his skin. His intention is to remove the painful pus. However, once the pus is out, you should not press on that place after it's been opened. If you keep pressing after the pus came out, blood's going to come out. You're purposely squeezing out blood. That you should not do. What? No, physical. Why? He has acne. He has acne. Look, not. Yeah. No. It has to be physical pain. Okay, 46 is permitted to extract a splinter. An area. How do you say splinter again? Zanoza. Yeah. So he has a splinter. He wants to remove the splinter on Shabbat. He wants to use. How do you say the tweezers? Shipsi. See, shipsi to take out the. How do you call it again? Zanoza. Shipsi to take out the zanoza. So over there, it is permitted to use such a thing, even with tweezers or a needle. It is permitted, even if you know some blood will come out in the process. If possible, one should try to remove the splinter in a manner that no blood will be drawn. Okay, fine. That's that. Okay, good. 51. A non-electric thermometer. Okay, a strip thermometer that you put to the forehead and the color is changed to show you the temperature of the person, that may be used on Shabbat to determine a person's fever. Even if you're not a choleh she'en bo sakana, one may shake down the red line in a thermometer even on Shabbat. However, you're not allowed to use an electric thermometer. Person says, but he's sick, I don't know, I want to know, I'm curious, maybe we'll take him to the hospital, I want to use electric thermometer. It is asur. Everybody should have a strip thermometer in the house. That way they could use to check the fever if they have a fever.
Normal thermometer.
What?
Normal, it goes like
The glass one? Mercury, what, the glass one, you put it in his mouth? Yeah, on the arm, yeah, all those. If there's not electric, it'll be permitted.
Measuring is
No, it's okay for the what's it called, for the sick person doesn't feel well, mutar. Okay. Yeah, good. Now 52. One who's considered choleh, and he needs to weigh his food. He's only allowed to eat a certain amount of food. That is a sort to measure and to weigh food. But if he's a choleh she'en bo sakana, so the rabbanan were lenient with him. That would be permitted. Young children, this is adults. What about young kids? Young kids, they're always treated choleh she'en bo sakana. So therefore, a child who's younger than 9 and he feels sick from some symptom, he is allowed to go and be treated like a choleh she'en bo sakana, and the rabbanans will be permitted for him. Okay. Good. What's an example? For example, taking medicine, right? Let's say a guy has a slight headache or a slight pain. He's not allowed to take medicine. It's assuming the rabbanan. But for kids, even for a small ache, even for a small pain, he's right away allowed to take medicine. Why? Because the Rabbanans were more lenient for him. Okay, 58. We'll finish over here. One may ask a non-Jew to turn off a candle or electricity for someone who's choleh she'en bo sakana, or for someone who's pained by the light. If no Jew can be found, even a Jew can do it durech shidui. And we're going to speak about next time where a person forgot to turn on the AC before Shabbat and ochin jarka on Shabbat. So can you call the goy to turn on the AC? Because if you don't, maybe we're all going to get a heat flash. Or opposite, if there's no heat and it's freezing cold and you might get sick from the house being so cold, are you allowed to call the goy to turn on the heat? Baruch Na'olam.